Welcome to What's Up Ocala. I'm your host, Andrew Praver, and this is where we talk about real estate here in Ocala and nationwide and how it affects you. We also talk about the local sales, the stats, and this helps each week to keep you informed, as well as what upcoming events are taking place here around town so that you can hopefully enjoy where you live. So we are so glad to be back here in Ocala, back with you. My husband and I just went to Arizona for a real estate conference last week, and the conference was 2 days. It was absolutely wonderful, really interesting information. It was through my real estate coach that I've had for years and years, and every single time I go and listen to him or talk to him, I always learn something new. So really just amazing. Big shout out to Joshua Smith over in Arizona. He's a fantastic real estate coach. But while we were over there, we thought, well, we'll just go ahead and take a couple of days and go and see the Grand Canyon. I've never been so happy to leave a place. So I apologize profusely to those that are from Arizona that are listening right now. But nothing I say is at all untrue, and you can vouch for this. It was incredibly dry. It was just, apparently now that I've been living in Florida for over 20 years, I have become part amphibian, I suppose. I was over there and my skin was dry, my face, I was constantly putting in moisturizer, chapstick, and I drank about a gallon of water every day that I was there, and I was thirsty while I was drinking the water. It was absolutely crazy. So I'd never been to Arizona before, never been to Nevada or California. Those are about the only states that I have not been to. I've been to all the rest, but have not been to those. And it was really eye-opening. It really was. We had a fantastic time going and checking out the Grand Canyon, but it was uncomfortably dry. And the static electricity, I had forgotten what static was like, because we really don't have that much of it here in Ocala. There's so much humidity, even in the winter when it is a little bit more dry, we just don't really have that. So when we went over there, I was constantly getting zapped, touching the car, touching somebody else. I go to shake hands, and that was a painful experience. I was kind of going back to 2020 where we weren't shaking hands, because that was just, it was painful. It was absolutely painful. So at one point I actually, we were in the car and I had dropped something. So I went to lean down and pick it up, and my face was by my husband's knee, and I actually got zapped with electricity in my face, like right on my chin. It was excruciating. So I was not in love with Arizona at all. There was some really great things to see. The cactus and stuff, that was just huge. It was so cool to see that. The differences was what I really enjoy about traveling. But I was ready to come home. I was definitely ready to come home. I just could not handle that dry atmosphere and all of the static electricity. And I'm sorry, but when you have long hair like I do, it just looked like there was, it looked and felt like there was an octopus constantly trying to attack my face with all of my hair kind of going forward constantly. And somebody said, oh, well, that's easy. You can take care of that with just put some hand moisturizer in your hands and then, put it on your hair. That only worked for about an hour. So every hour on the hour, I was doing the exact same thing. I was applying moisturizer to my hands and skin, and then also to my hair, just hoping that it would not stand up constantly like I just put my hand in a light socket. So it was crazy. It was very different. And of course, I'm always telling you guys, enjoy the place you love. And as I was talking to people in Arizona, a lot of them were like, oh yeah, I've been to Florida. Oh, with the humidity, I just can't handle it. So it's so funny from a different perspective. For me going over there, I'm like, oh, this is just too dry, I can't handle it. And they're looking at it like, oh no, it's just too wet, I can't handle it. So it was kind of interesting how you just adapt and you get used to something and you learn to love it. So for me, I'm Florida, 100%. I could not wait to get back. I felt so much better as soon as I stepped out of the airport, breathed some wet air in, and I was just so happy. I was so happy to be home. I felt so much better, so much happier, relaxed, and healthier as soon as we made it back to Florida. So I'm gonna stay here for the rest of my life. I just love it. But yeah, it was very interesting experience. My husband and I both decided that we would not be ever moving to Arizona. Not that it was a question, but you know, when you travel around, if there's some place that you really fall in love with, you're like, you know, maybe, possibly we could. For us, no, it's not even a question. Would never happen. We just couldn't handle it. We just really couldn't. It was crazy, but I'm sure you adapt over time. We weren't there long enough to adapt, obviously. We just went there for a few days, but I will have to say that the Grand Canyon lives up to the grand. It was amazing. It was absolutely breathtakingly beautiful and shockingly huge. I cannot express how immense and how grand and how amazing this was. So for the experience of going up and seeing that, it was absolutely amazing. I would go again. I think it would be better prepared with some static guard, a lot of static guard, and a lot more moisturizer. And I would be ready. I would do it again, but maybe not for a while. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into it today. Something I think you will be seeing a lot of over the next few years is multi-gen housing. What on earth is that? Well, multi-generational home or multi-generational living, it refers to a type of residence where multiple generations of family live together under one roof. This typically includes grandparents, parents, and children, although it can also include other extended family, maybe like cousins or something similar to that. Aunts, uncles, something like that. I know what you're picturing. I see it already. You're immediately picturing a cramped 2-bedroom home with like 16 people sleeping in it. That's not at all what we are talking about today. In fact, if you actually go here in Ocala to the D.R. Horton Model Home over in Brookhaven on Southwest 60th Road, you'll find a wonderful example of a multi-gen house. It's absolutely gorgeous. I fell in love with it. I actually wanted it. Multi-generational houses are designed to accommodate the unique needs and preferences of multiple generations, different ages, living together in the same home. They often include separate living spaces, such as self-contained apartments or suites, similar to that one at D.R. Horton, and that's to help provide privacy and independence for each generation. So these spaces may have their own bedrooms, bathrooms, living areas, and even kitchens, but there are also shared or communal spaces as well. Normally it's the dining areas, laundry rooms, or family rooms. And that's where the family members can, if they choose, to spend time together. That's where they can do that. So it's separate but together. It's very interesting. So it's multi-generational living. It can offer a lot of benefits to people in different situations. This is including the increased family bonding time, cost sharing for expenses such as mortgage payments, utility bills, or maybe shared caregiving responsibilities for elderly family members. And it also has the ability to provide support and care for each other. It can also have a lot of cultural or traditional significance in some families or communities where multiple generations living together is a very common practice. I know it's not very common for us over here in the United States, but it is very, very common in most of the rest of the world. So multi-gen floor plans offer more than just a spare guest room. It's actually 2 homes, the main home area, with a separate suite, normally with a private entrance and sometimes even their own parking. So it adds that convenience, but it also has safety. And normally there's a connecting door, sometimes there's not. In some cases, the main residence is for parents of adult children that are going to college for maybe a doctorate or similar extensive schooling, with the adult children paying some of the living expenses, but also wanting to have that independent living space, but not necessarily all of wanting the cares of all of the responsibilities of taking care of the entire home. So it's not just a failure to fly scenario sometimes. In some of these cases, there's also a lot of extended family that comes for frequent visits from all over. So having a separate living space allows for that hospitality without disrupting your daily life. More and more, these types of homes are great for additional income as well by leasing out that separate living space, sometimes to a friend or family member, co-worker, something like that, But sometimes it's through websites you might be familiar with, like Airbnb and VRBO. The income from that can be substantial. It may even cover the cost of the mortgage for the entire home. Most often, this is used for elderly family members, though. Maybe they can't or shouldn't live on their own, but they also don't need a significant amount of care that they would get in a facility. And with so many traveling nurses, having your relative live at home and be looked after by family is often the best choice. So assisted living costs in Florida, while it varies a lot depending on the location, the amenities, the level of care, the specific facility even, it can be expensive. But Florida has a reputation for being a retirement destination, and as such, it has a wide range of assisted living options available. I'm sure you may have already heard about it or seen stuff, but on average, the cost of assisted living in Florida ranges anywhere from $2,000 to $7,000 per month. So it's important to understand that while these are approximate, it's still very expensive. If the multi-gen fam home scenario is not really what you're looking for, and you do have to look into assisted living, I really recommend that you do a lot of research, compare different assisted living facilities in Florida. You want to really get a good understanding of the costs involved. The costs can include things like accommodations, meals, personal care, medication management, activities, all sorts of things. It's important to understand that the assisted living costs are typically paid out of pocket, and they're not typically covered by Medicare. Some long-term care insurance policies do offer coverage for the assisted living expenses, but it's rare. So when you're considering the affordability of assisted living in Florida, or really anywhere if you're listening from other parts of the world, it's really crucial to take into the account the individual's financial situation, including their income, their savings, any potential financial assistance such as veterans benefits or Medicaid that might be available to help pay for this. I would highly recommend consulting with a financial advisor or an elder law attorney because they can really provide that guidance and help navigate the costs associated with those assisted living facilities in Florida. So I'd take a hard look really at your future and your family's future needs. It's just incredibly important. What I often say is that it's hope for the best and prepare for the worst. So you're always going to come out in great shape if you do that. So yeah, if you'd like more information on some of those floor plans available in the multi-generational housing with different builders that are doing these, or even just a regular home, that's completely fine. You can find out what floor plans are popular right now. You can go ahead and give us a call. It's 352-817-9160. We'll be sure to get you any info that you may need regarding this, including the HOA rules and regulations, which may come into play. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to review this week's stats in real estate and the fun things that you can do around town this weekend. Be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's go ahead and jump right into the real estate stats for this week here in Marion County. This is the last 7 days, Marion County alone, residential only. Currently, there are 2,520 houses available and ready to purchase. We're waiting for you. New listings, we had 230. Price increases, we had 52. Pretty healthy. Price decreases, we had 359. Going the wrong way there. Sold, we had 207. Pending, we had 298. There are a lot of people out there buying right now. Withdrawn, we had 6, and canceled, we had 42. If you're looking at the national average interest rate, 7.07% for a 30-year fix, and for a 15-year fix, which is what we recommend, we're into the fives. I mean, barely, but we're there. So the 15-year fix is at 5.98%. I'm going to give you some fantastic news. It has nothing to do with those stats, but if you are looking for something to do here in, well, anywhere in the United States right now, you do not have to sweat it. Even though today is April 15th, the deadline for your taxes is not until April 18th. So you have a little bit of time. I would recommend go ahead and getting it started at least today. Maybe go ahead and work on your taxes a little bit instead of maybe binge watching your favorite Netflix show. But if you've already done your taxes, or if you are just straight up not going to do it today, you're going to procrastinate and get it in on the 18th, that's fine too. There's plenty of stuff for you to check out this weekend around town. So let's go ahead and talk about what fun things you can do. Right now over at the Appleton Museum, we have the Appleton Art Space. It's hands-on activities for all ages to better understand art and how it's created. It's only $10 for adults, and then ages 6 to 7, it's $5. 5 years and younger are free. So it's fairly inexpensive. It's just basically covering the cost for the supplies, but it's a really great way to spend a Saturday. So that's going on from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. today. We also have the Rainbow Springs Art Festival. We're just full of art all over the place in Marion County this weekend. But this is over in Denellen. That's the Rainbow Springs Art Festival. It's from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's totally free to go. You're going to see arts and crafts, entertainment, music. You're going to see some classic cars, of course. You have to. Can't have an event without classic cars. Then we've got food and fun, of course. So if you want to stop on out there, that would be great. I went last year and it was a fantastic time. I picked up some really great earrings that my daughter picked out for me. And we just had a really great time. There's a lot of really fun activities to do there. So highly recommend that. Carson Springs Wildlife Walk or Ride has got their Saturday morning tours. Now, mind you, it already started for today from 10 to noon is when it's going on. That's over at the Carson Springs Wildlife Conservation Foundation. You can walk or ride the tour. It's got a lot of great outdoor fun for the entire family. It's guided by a professional zoologist, and you can actually see big cat feeding demonstrations, and basically tour allows you to get close to a lot of the animals. Not the big cats, mind you, but you can actually witness what is going on with the cat feedings and stuff like that. So it's just a really, really cool place to go and hang out. I would highly recommend it. Even if you missed out on this morning's walk or ride, you can definitely find out from their website if there are other activities that you maybe could possibly join. Now, what about tomorrow? Well, let's say you already got your taxes done today and you deserve a break. You deserve something special, something different. Well, you can go on down to Ocala Oddities Market. It's from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and it's getting bigger and bigger and better every single time. This is a once a month type thing that they do over at the Ocala Downtown Market. It's completely free to walk around and enjoy and check out the oddities. They've got antiques, they've got taxidermy, they've got bug art, bone art, vintage clothing, and so much more. If you have not been to the Oddities Market, you should definitely get down there and check this out. So it's actually, I think it's probably tripled in size from what it was originally. It's just bigger and bigger, and everybody just has a really great time down there. So highly recommend that you go down and check that out. If you want to see a movie over at the Marion Theater, Mulan is playing today at 1:30. Tomorrow at 1:30. I'm forgetting my Saturdays and Sundays. So yeah, tomorrow at 1:30 over at the Marion Theater, you can check out Mulan. Fantastic movie to take the kids to. If you're wanting something different later in the week, Riley Theater might be the place that you want to go. Comedian Rob Magnotti. Magnotti? I guess that's how you say it. All right. Anyway, on the 24th at 7:30 p.m., he will be over at the Riley Theater. He is a comedian, and he will get you laughing and enjoying everything. So go over and check out the Riley Theater. There's always amazing things, amazing shows, concerts, and everything coming up. We've seen some really interesting shows there, and we've had a great time at the Riley Theater. It's a really, really amazing place. We're very fortunate here in Marion County to have something like that, so we definitely want to support it. So that's over on the 24th. And then on the 25th, we have Anything and Everything Art over at Our Lady of the Springs Church, which is painting, drawing, ceramics, sculpture, photography, crafts, and more, and that is free. Our Homebuyer Workshop is also on the 25th, so next Saturday, from 12 to 2. We are going to be doing it online as well as in person. So if you want to come down and check us out, please feel free to do so. We will have snacks and no judgment. So come ask away any of your questions regarding purchasing a home or the steps to home ownership or anything regarding that. If there's grants available, your credit, anything like that. We've all been there, so there's going to be absolutely no judgment. Come on down and check it out. If you'd like to go online and join us on there, it's going to be on our YouTube channel. It will be live, and we will have a lender available to answer your more in-depth financial questions. She will also be giving applications out if you feel like you are ready to take the plunge and find out exactly what you qualify for. You can do that. There is no pressure. It will not be something we ask you to do, but if you ask us, we will more than happy to help you get started on the road to purchasing your own home. That is from noon to 2, and that's on Saturday, the 25th, and it is going to be here at our office at 3201 Southwest 34th Avenue, Suite 102, and that is completely free. Or you can follow along on our YouTube channel. We have the Festival Latino downtown Ocala also on the 25th. That starts at 11 a.m. So you could maybe go there for an hour and then come over to our office. See how well that works out. You're going to go ahead and be able to celebrate Latin culture with food trucks, kiosks, artisans, and basically lots of fun for kids and families. Music, of course. You cannot have a Latin festival without having music. So that is going to be going on at Ocala City Hall next Saturday, and it starts at 11 a.m. Last but certainly not least, this month we've got the Macon Bacon Festival. How can you not want to go to the Macon Bacon Festival? That's going to be at Heritage Park, and that is on the 29th. So I believe that's over in Levy County, but it is definitely worth the drive. I went, I believe, year before last. Fantastic food at this. It's not just bacon. It's every way you can possibly prepare bacon or things with bacon. It's very bacon centric, but the food was amazing, including the desserts with bacon in it. That was craziness. We tried to, we attempted to try everything, but I don't think we did. So we're gonna go ahead and give it a go again and see if maybe there's a new recipe we need to bring home, because who doesn't like bacon? Gotta love that. So that's the Macon Bacon Festival. It's on the 29th over at Heritage Park, and it is free parking and admission, so just go in and enjoy and hang out. So I hope to see you at our homebuyer workshop next Saturday, and if not, hopefully you'll be at the Oddities Market or Rainbow Springs Art Festival today, tomorrow, and just really enjoy your hometown and everything that's offered here, and just truly enjoy where you live. This is Andrea Praver with Great Expectations Realty. If you have any questions, please go ahead and put them online. We have a fantastic section there that is Ask Andrea on the website. It's WITG, Classic Hits Ocala. And you can actually click right on there and put in your question for me. We are doing a question of the week every Friday. So if you want to submit a question regarding real estate or Marion County or nationwide even, we will definitely mention your name and your question, and I will have less than a minute to answer it, which is pretty funny. But we've been having a lot of fun with that. So feel free to stop over to the website for WITG, Classic Hits Radio, and you're going to go over to the tab that is Ask Andrea, and you'll be featured. Your question will be featured on air next week. Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate you listening, and we'll see you next time.
Move with the rhythm. Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it.